Walk into a home in suburban Ohio. Open the door to a student apartment in Tokyo. Step inside a young family's flat in Sydney. You will likely find something familiar. It might be a Billy bookcase standing sentinel, its shelves filled with paperbacks and photo frames. It could be a Poang armchair, its gentle curve a silent invitation to sit and rest. Or perhaps it is a simple, unassuming lac side table, holding a coffee mug and the day's mail. These objects are more than just furniture. They are cultural artifacts, quiet symbols of a global phenomenon that began not in a gleaming corporate high-rise, but on a small rocky farm in the forests of southern Sweden. IKEA is a name that transcends language and borders, a brand so deeply embedded in our modern lives that we often forget to ask a simple question: how did this happen? The scale of IKEA's influence is staggering, almost difficult to comprehend in its totality. In the rugged stony landscape of Småland, a province in southern Sweden, life was not easy. The soil was thin, the work was hard, and frugality was a virtue born of necessity. It was here, on a farm named Elmtarid, near the village of Agunnaryd, that Ingvar Kamprad was born in 1926. These were not abstract business principles for Kamprad. They were the lessons of his childhood, the very air he breathed. From a young age he possessed an almost preternatural entrepreneurial spirit, a restless drive to find a better, more efficient way of doing things. His business career began at the age of 5. He would buy matches in bulk from Stockholm and sell them individually to his neighbors at a small profit. He soon expanded, using his bicycle to deliver fish, Christmas decorations, seeds, and pens. He was constantly looking for ways to lower his costs so he could offer a better price to his customers, a principle that would become the bedrock of his future empire. By the time he was a teenager, he had a functioning, albeit small, mail-order business running from his family's kitchen table. In 1943, at the age of just 17, Ingvar Kamprad officially registered his business. Ingvar Kamprad from Elmtarid, the family farm, in Agunnaryd, the local parish. IKEA. In its early days, the company sold no furniture at all. It was a miscellany of goods: wallets, picture frames, nylon stockings, and ballpoint pens. The problem was simple, yet profound. As IKEA's mail-order furniture business expanded, so did its costs and complications. Worse still, they were frequently damaged in transit, with legs snapping off and surfaces getting scratched. He was caught in a classic business dilemma. The very growth that signaled his success was creating a problem that threatened to undermine it. In 1956, an IKEA draftsman named Gillis Lundgren was trying to fit a Love-It table into the trunk of his car after a photo shoot for the company catalog. It wouldn't fit. In a moment of frustration and genius, he decided to take the legs off. And in that simple act, everything changed. This was the birth of flat-pack furniture, the single most important innovation in IKEA's history. By packing furniture components into flat, compact boxes, IKEA could dramatically reduce shipping and storage costs. In exchange for a lower price, the customer was asked to invest a small amount of their own time and effort. The act of building your own furniture, of turning a box of boards and a bag of screws into a functional object, created a unique bond. You valued that Billy bookcase just a little bit more because you had built it yourself. This seemingly small shift in psychology was a masterstroke. While the flat-pack system was the logistical engine of IKEA's success, its aesthetic philosophy provided the soul. The company embraced a style that was clean, modern, and distinctly Scandinavian. It was a design language that rejected ornate, heavy styles in favor of light woods, clean lines, and an intelligent use of space. This aesthetic was perfectly suited to the smaller, more modern homes that were becoming common in the post-war era. IKEA's great insight was to take this design movement, which was often associated with high-end, expensive artisan pieces, and make it accessible to everyone. They called this principle democratic design. The idea was simple: good form and function should not be reserved for the wealthy. Everyone, regardless of the size of their wallet, deserved to live in a home that was both beautiful and practical. The principles of democratic design are built on 5 distinct pillars: form, function, quality, sustainability, and a low price. A chair must not only look good, form, but also be comfortable to sit in, function. It must be durable enough to withstand everyday use, quality, and be produced with respect for the planet, sustainability. And most importantly, it must be offered at a price so low that as many people as possible can afford it. This rigorous framework forces IKEA's designers to be incredibly innovative, constantly searching for new materials and production methods to achieve all 5 goals simultaneously. By using materials like particle board, pine, and plastic in clever ways, and by designing products specifically for the efficiencies of flat-pack production, they democratized modernism. They gave millions of people the tools to create homes that felt contemporary, organized, and stylish, empowering them to become the curators of their own living spaces. Shopping at IKEA is not like shopping anywhere else. It's not just a quick trip to pick up a single item. You're handed a map, a measuring tape, and a tiny pencil. These are, believe it or not, the essential tools for your adventure. The store itself is intentionally designed as a one-way labyrinth, guiding you through a series of immaculately staged room settings that IKEA calls the long, natural way. This showroom walk is really the heart of the experience. It's a masterclass in suggestive selling. You don't just see a sofa, you see an entire living room perfectly arranged with coordinating rugs, lamps, and coffee tables. You walk through dream kitchens, cozy bedrooms, and clever home offices, each one designed to solve a real-life problem. And these displays aren't roped off like museum exhibits. You're actually encouraged to touch, to sit, to open drawers, and to imagine your own life unfolding in these spaces. Midway through this journey, just as you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, you arrive at an oasis, the IKEA restaurant. The IKEA food court, famous for its Swedish meatballs, became an integral part of the shopping experience. It transforms a commercial transaction into a social and cultural event, making the trip more enjoyable and encouraging families to spend the entire day. After the restaurant, you descend into the market hall, which is kind of a sprawling bazaar of housewares, from kitchen gadgets and textiles to lamps and picture frames. Finally, you reach the self-serve furniture area, a cavernous warehouse where you become the hero of your own story. The entire process, from the inspirational showroom to the hands-on warehouse, is designed to empower the customer. It's a journey that makes you an active participant, not just a passive consumer. With its revolutionary business model firmly established in Scandinavia, IKEA set its sights on the rest of the world. The international expansion began tentatively in the 1960s and 70s. Germany in particular became a crucial market and a blueprint for future growth, embracing IKEA's blend of practicality and modern design with enormous enthusiasm. Each new store opening was a major event, drawing massive crowds eager to experience this new way of shopping for the home. The leap to North America in the mid-1970s and 80s represented a far greater challenge. They realized American beds were different sizes, so they adjusted their mattresses and bed frames. They saw that Americans drank from larger glasses, so they introduced bigger tumblers. These small but significant cultural adjustments showed a willingness to listen and evolve, a key factor in the brand's eventual and spectacular success in the United States and Canada. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 opened up another vast frontier Eastern Europe. The company's expansion then turned toward Asia, opening stores in Japan, China, and beyond. In China, IKEA became an unexpected social phenomenon. The vast stores became popular destinations for a burgeoning middle class, with people spending entire days there not just to shop but to see and experience a Western lifestyle. This relentless global march transformed IKEA into a corporate behemoth. Today it operates over 470 stores in more than 60 markets, with a workforce of over 230,000 people. But this massive scale brought with it a new set of challenges. The company faced criticism for promoting a culture of disposability and consumerism. The small company from Småland had to learn how to be a responsible global citizen. Faced with the immense environmental challenge of its own success, IKEA did not make small cosmetic changes. It embarked on one of the most ambitious corporate sustainability programs in the world. The new mission was to become people and planet positive. This was not just a slogan, it was a fundamental shift in strategy. The company began by tackling its massive consumption of resources. It invested hundreds of millions of euros in forestry management, working with organizations like the Forest Stewardship Council to ensure that its wood was sourced from responsibly managed forests. Today, nearly all the wood used in IKEA products is either FSC certified or recycled. The company then turned its attention to energy. Recognizing its huge energy footprint, IKEA made a bold commitment to produce as much renewable energy as it consumes. It invested billions in wind farms and solar panels, installing them on the roofs of its stores and distribution centers around the globe. In many countries, IKEA is now a net energy producer, feeding clean energy back into the grid. It also systematically phased out less efficient products, switching its entire lighting range to energy-saving LEDs years ahead of many competitors. The focus on sustainability also sparked a new wave of product innovation. IKEA designers began experimenting with new materials that were more eco-friendly, such as recycled plastics, bamboo and wood plastic composites. They developed kitchens made from recycled PET bottles and chairs made from reclaimed wood. The company also embraced the principles of the circular economy, designing products that are easier to repair, reuse and eventually recycle. It launched programs to buy back old IKEA furniture from customers, giving it a second life and reducing the amount of waste sent to landfills. This transformation is an ongoing journey. IKEA is now exploring plant-based food options to reduce the climate impact of its famous restaurants. It is investing in electric vehicles for its delivery fleet and encouraging customers to adopt more sustainable habits at home. The goal is to decouple the company's growth from its environmental impact, proving that a large, successful business can also be a force for good. It is an attempt to solve the central paradox of its own existence: how to provide affordable products for the many while protecting the one planet we all share. From a small mail-order business run by a teenager in rural Sweden to a global retail titan, the story of IKEA is one of relentless innovation and unwavering focus. Its success is not the result of a single brilliant idea, but a constellation of them. It is the logistical genius of the flat pack, which redefined the economics of an entire industry. It is the immersive theater of the store experience, which turns shopping into a family adventure. It is the aesthetic appeal of Scandinavian modernism, made accessible to all. Each of these elements is powerful on its own, but together, they created a business model that was, for decades, almost impossible to replicate. At the very heart of this vast and complex enterprise, however, lies the simple, powerful mission that Ingvar Kamprad articulated from the very beginning: to create a better everyday life for the many people. This was never just about selling furniture. It was a social and democratic ideal. It was the belief that a thoughtfully designed, functional and beautiful home should not be a privilege reserved for the rich. It should be a fundamental right, accessible to students furnishing their first apartment, young families on a tight budget, and anyone who aspired to improve their living space. This core purpose is what explains IKEA's enduring appeal across vastly different cultures and economic conditions. While styles and technologies change, the fundamental human need for a comfortable and inspiring home does not. IKEA succeeded because it addressed this universal desire with a solution that was not only affordable, but also empowering. By asking customers to participate in the final assembly, it fostered a sense of ownership and pride. It gave them the tools and the inspiration to become active creators of their own environment, not just passive consumers. This psychological contract is perhaps its most profound and lasting innovation. Today, as IKEA navigates the complexities of sustainability and the digital age, its founding mission remains more relevant than ever. The challenge is no longer just about making design affordable, but about making affordable design sustainable. It is about proving that a better everyday life does not have to come at the expense of the planet's future. The journey that began with a boy selling matches on a bicycle in Småland continues, driven by the same frugal, practical, and deeply optimistic belief that it is possible to make things better for everyone. That, in the end, is the untold story of how IKEA conquered the world, not just by selling products, but by selling a better, more democratic way of life.